It's SPOKEies University from D.S. Simon Media, featuring Michael Smart from Michael Smart PR.
Why is it important to recognize outstanding spokespeople based on trust and authenticity?
Happy to be here, Kristina, and I'm honored to be a part of the SPOKEies. Authenticity is so key for spokespeople because what's the value of earned media? It's that credibility, right? It's the extra trust that audiences afford to us when they know that some gatekeeper decided to put this spokesperson in front of me.
Absolutely. And what are some best practices for corporate and nonprofit spokespeople?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take this in, a different direction than maybe some of your other judges that you've been interviewing. For spokespeople to be effectively authentic, they ought to believe in, or at least subscribe to, the point of the campaign, right? An editor once told me when I was asking her about all the PR pitches she gets, she said, you know what I want to ask these PR people, Michael? I want to ask them, if you weren't getting paid to pitch this, would you even be interested in this? And I think all of us can sort of chuckle ruefully that we've been in that position, pitching stuff that we didn't really find interesting ourselves. But to the extent that we can find spokespeople and prepare them in such a way that they really buy into the campaign, that they are enthusiastic about either the message or the angle or the stories that they're going to be able to tell, that authenticity is going to come across a lot stronger.
I definitely agree. And the last question, what are some mistakes to avoid for spokespeople?
So mistakes then would be choosing somebody just because they were the celebrity we could afford, whether or not they had any connection to the topic, or putting an executive, a CEO out there to support his vanity, or just because of default thinking. Instead, let's try to find what journalists call a real person, someone who's affected by the product or service or cause that we're promoting. And let's work with them and media train them, but also preserve their unique, authentic take on the subject and let them speak about it. One great example from one of my clients, Aflac, is they used a spokesperson. They already had contracted a NASCAR driver, but instead of just having him talk about how Aflac donated money to cancer, they created a contest where they invited kids with cancer to submit designs for how his car should look when it raced. So then when they had their event, they had the NASCAR driver and a 13-year-old cancer patient who talked about how she was being treated in this facility that Aflac was funding. Obviously, real authentic spokesperson to go along with the person whom they had sort of bought in the NASCAR driver.
Yeah, that's a great example. Well, thank you so much, Michael. These are some great tips. And thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to do it. Nice talking to you, Kristina.